Now, patients who had any detectable calcification tended to be older, 45 versus 37 years, and more often were hypertensive, 56% versus 35%. Prevalence increased with older age, reaching 42.1% in those ages 33 to 44 and 61.6% in those 45 to 64. Scores in the 1 to 99 range were observed in 30%, and in the 100 to 399 range in 8%, and above 400 was 4%. The 50 SLE patients who were ages 45 or younger were then compared with 3,042 cardiac controls who also were no older than 45. The SLE patients were predominantly female, 92% versus 54%, and were less often identified as white, 6% versus 55%. SLE patients also more often had hypertension, 44% versus 23%, and used aspirin, 32% versus 7%. Importantly, the high prevalence of coronary artery calcium scores above 0 in patients with SLE younger than 45 is similar to the 43% that has been reported for patients ages 40 and younger with diabetes. Now, this information was retrieved. All the information that you heard today was retrieved from MedPage Today, 2019, July 2019. But they know that like I stated before, the medications that some of us take causes adverse side effects. You know, like I said, people who have never had diabetes, no family history of diabetes or hypertension, now have hypertension and diabetes. Could it be the cause from the medication? What are your thoughts on this? Tell me. He is the author of Positive Energy 24/7 and his latest book, It Was Destined, Urban Legend. He's Detroit's own author, Henry Long. To purchase an autographed copy of his books and to purchase his ebook, go to WritePath247.com. That's WritePath247.com. You can also follow him on Instagram at WritePath247. If you would like to appear on an episode of My Story Living with Lupus, you can contact us at mystorylivingwithlupus@gmail.com. Also visit us on our Instagram page and also our website, My Story Living with Lupus. go through challenges. We all have good days and bad days. I know it seems hard sometimes, but remember one thing. Through every dark night, there's a brighter day after. So, my brothers and sisters who are in this fight, in the words of Tupac, so no matter how hard it gets, stick your chest out, keep your head up, and handle it. L's up. I'm Susan Hendricks, and I thank you for joining me on my story, Living with Lupus. I'll see you next week. The views and opinions expressed on my story, Living with Lupus podcast, represents each person's individual experience. By listening to this podcast or reading our blog, you agree not to use this podcast or blog as medical advice to treat any medical condition in either yourself or others. As always, consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. My story, Living with Lupus podcast, is officially trademarked, all rights reserved.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.